The book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse 22. Let nothing hinder thee to pay thy vow in due time, and defer not unto debt to be justified. Okay, first and foremost, I like to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Shura Dash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the icons that's pushing the truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video will be edifying first and foremost to the whole elect, then to those that cleave to the body. And today's lesson will be straight to the point, you know, a real austere minded lesson, you know, going out to just to remember to honor the vow we made. All right, the covenant and the contract which we took with the Lord as we walk and continue to walk with the Lord, you know, through faith, through suffering, chastisement, all the fruits of the labor that come with the Lord, because everything of the Lord, when you with the Lord, is fruitful. Whether it be to your liking, whether it be, you know, discomforting to you, it's all for the greater good. All right, but when thou vow is the vow to follow the Lord all the days of your life, all right, that was a serious that's a serious contract we entered into, man. All right, it's very important, because at the end of that contract, if you uphold your end, the Lord will give you what he said he'll give you in the contract. It's the covenants, you know, the covenant which he made with us. All right, but the thing is, you have to have the heart to finish, as Paul did in Timothy. You know, as Paul spoke about, and amongst other men, right? They went into the debt, all right, to what? Following the Lord. And that, you know, that's the ultimate thing. You know, it's crazy as it sounds, you know, you gotta defer not unto debt to be justified. So the only way we would be justified in that we had went totally to the edge for Yahweh Shai, and even may have to jump off the cliff. All right. But furthermore, many men have accounts of laying their lives down that they honored the vow that was before them, man. So this is what this lesson will be about. And like I said, I'm going to keep it real stern and to the point. This Deuteronomy 23, all right, and 21. It says, when thou shalt vow a vow unto Yahweh thy power, thou shalt not slack to pay it. For Yahweh thy power will surely require it of thee, and it would be sin in thee. See? So if you slack to pay a vow, which you made, or a promise, willing to accept that which come for the Lord, it says, when thou comest to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. All right? So anything that the Lord, you know, try you with, okay, because when you really look into that temptation, the Lord don't tempt his men. He tries. All right? But there's not a lesson about that. Okay? The lesson is about honoring the vow. Honoring the vow. Just keeping your word, man. All right? Keeping the word, you know, is keeping your word. Because in prayer, you know, by our mouth, the heart confess unto righteousness. You see? Let me get that. See? So the thing that we won't be justified in, we have to also not defer unto debt with it, right? This is Romans 10 and 8. But what's said is, the word is nigh thee, even in thy mouth and in thy heart. That is the word of faith which we preach, that if thou shalt confess with thy mouth that Yahweh Shai, and shall believe the Yahweh Shai, and shall believe in thine heart that God had raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. And we confess with that. See? This is the names we confessed in. So if you confess the name, you gotta believe on that he rose from the dead. All right? That he was the, amongst other things, the Ark of the Covenant, that fiery brass serpent, that chariot by day, that cloud by night in the wilderness. All right? That death angel in Egypt. You gotta confess it and believe it. You see? This part of the vow you entered into, man. we entered into. And I pray I don't want to rock the Zada. Men of the Lord is going to uphold their vows, man. You know how the vows go, you know, in a marriage. They say what? Till death do us apart, right? And even Edom, you know, who don't honor debt or don't honor their vows, they still know that it's honorable to mention, all right, till death do you part. That's why I said let nothing put asunder that which the Lord had brought together. All right, I'm gonna get that next. It says verse 10, for with the heart man believing unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. You see? So remember, being partakers of the salvation of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, all right, there's a duty, all right, and this is the whole duty of man to fulfill the obligations, you know, is to walk in the law and do that which the law required of thee. See that? You see? This is Matthew yeah, this Mark 10:9. What therefore our power had joined together, let no man put asunder. All right, and we have been enjoined to the Lord through the mediator Yahushai, right? And we can't lose that, man. Because he said on his end that none of them shall pluck out of my hand in the book of John. And he was praying that we stay, girded unto him. All right, he have carried us in his bosom. You see? So we have been made one with Yahushai, right, for his atonement. So we became at one in our heart, in our minds, man. You see that? Okay? So back in Deuteronomy 23 and 22, but if thou shalt forbid a vow, it shall be no sin in thee. That which is gone out of thy lips, thou shalt keep and perform, even a freewill offering, according as thou hast vowed unto Yahweh thy power, which thou hast promised with thy mouth, man. See that? By doing these video epistles, by giving charity, you know, speaking to brothers, not being forgetful to communicate amongst these things, that's part of your vow, right? Entering into the vineyard, right? The law requires you to be laborers, because the harvest is plenteous. All right. You know, there's no speaking of this thing in word, man, but in deed. See? All right. Get that. Right? Because every idle word shall account in a day, you know, in that day. So we have spoken with words of our heart, and you know, from the abundance of the heart the mouth speaks. So the Lord gonna hold us to that, man. You see? This is this is 1 John 3:18. My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. And the Lord have given us a vocation to walk in this truth, right? To love and, you know, to do that in love in word, which is the fulfilling of the law, right? You know, we gotta judge in the word. We gotta respect it. We gotta fulfill it. Because ultimately, when you do that, you ultimately be justified in Yahushai, because he is the word. All right? And you do it in deed and in truth, man. All right? Because it tell you in Colossians 3:17, and whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Mashiach Yahushai, giving thanks to our power and to the Father by him. You see? So this is this is a great vow we have made, and a covenant we have entered into. You know, that we keep and perform it. All right, this is Ecclesiastes 5. It's gonna get a little repetitive, but it is what it is. And 4, when thou vowest a vow unto Yahweh, defer not to pay it. He had no pleasures in food. Pay that which thou hast vowed, man. Yeah, do that which is before you, man. You know, and we honor doing the work, right? We look at other men as we walk alone, and we don't even allow those men to be dishonorable, man. If we ourselves are you truly honorable, you're not gonna let a man just dishonorably walk before the Lord. Yeah, you're gonna tarry with him and miscarry, all right? But if he just perpetually violate his vow, then that's a violation unto us, because we're all joined in one spirit unto Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. All right? That pollutes your vow in a way. All right? Now, granted, you can't make a man do, nothing. But for the most part, if we all walk, we got to be agreed. All right? So if we agree in our vow, then that means what? Every man got to be held accountable. There's an accountability. See? Verse 6, suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Neither say before the angel that it was in error. See, you can't come in this thing and be like, this wasn't really for me, fellas. But you came in and speaking, man, I love the Lord, he for us, or this or that, right? Remember, every idle word gonna stand. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thy hand? Remember, the Lord is the heir of jealousy, right? He hear our sacrifices. He hears. He know. See that? And again, every idle word gonna take an account, right? Matthew 12:36, but I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. See that? So every single one, especially the words, surrounding what we said and did in the truth, right? Because it can be offense to brothers, all right? And it can be a lack of faith. It can be a bunch of things, but there's also a word that builds brothers' faith to the saving of brothers' souls, to winning souls, right? Then that's part of your vow too, is to what? Love thy brother with all thine heart. Love the Lord first and foremost with all thy heart and honor thy brother. Second, first, because David paid the vow in the midst of all the people. And that's what we're doing, right? And that's another thing. Your vow has to be seen, all right? You got to let your light so shine before men. You can't vow the vow of the Lord, then hide. You can't be ashamed in Yahweh Shai. All right, this is Psalms 116. And 14, it says, I will pay my vows unto Yahweh now in the presence of all his people. See, the Lord gave us gifts to bring us before great men. And we gotta bring that to the table, man. Right? We can't hold back in whatever those vows consist of too. When you made a vow, man, that was it. It was a blood contract. Y'all shot like, look, I put my blood on the line for y'all to follow me. So y'all better goddamn follow me. See? You gotta pay it in the midst of all the people. You gotta get ridiculed. You gotta get mocked. You gotta get offended. From things of the world. Yeah, you gotta be brought low. You gotta be humbled, right? You gotta be given the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Lord, man. See, it's the only way to truly be a servant of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, man. This is Romans 8. Well, I saved that one last. Okay. See, this is very important. The approach or your mindset, concerning these times, because it's getting to that baptism of fire, all right, where, we got baptized by the water, now, we also was baptized in Yahweh Shai Dead, and I don't want to get that lesson up soon, very soon, all right? You know, because that's what we coming into. See that? This is the account with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, all right? Because, you know, this is a great account to where, you know, they went unto the debt for Yahweh Shai. It says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. And that's it. All right? We will not bow the knee to Baal. I don't want rather he keep us. All right? Because it's in the Lord's will that he do everything, but you know, the men of the Lord got the spirit of not bowing out right now. When you bow out, man, you defer not to pay your vow. Ain't no turning back, man. We done came too far. You know, men know how this go. When you enter into something, you get your woman, you looking for your woman to be with you the rest of your life, man. I don't give a damn. Even if we're in Babylon and know all the women hoes, we still looking for our wives that vowed unto us and dealt with us to be with us all our life. You know, if you got a decent woman, you know, most brothers, these hoes, whatever, but we know, you know, that they don't have to honor their vow. But as a man have to honor his vow, man. You know, because they was built for that. Testes. They have their word. They put their word in it, man. You know, a man's word is a heavy thing. See that? Right? So, this is Romans 8. Get out of here with this. No. I want to get this lesson on point. Because we gotta do it. And there's no getting around our duty. Alright? And it was your duty to do it. So you don't even get no credit for keeping your vow, man. You're supposed to keep it. Right? As men, you know, we supposed to keep what we said, man. This is Romans 8 and 35. Who shall separate us from the love of the Mashiach? Shall tribulation or distress, persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? See? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep to the slaughter. See? Nay, in all things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. See? For I'm persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of our power, Yahweh, which is in the Mashiach Yahweh Shai. So that's the point, man. All right, and as you see, I got on this screen here, that fire and that water. All right, remember that. Remember that path, that straight way, because there's no avoiding it. All right, it's only what? The going through it and conquering it. So I don't want to write this out. Was edifying, man. Till next time, say shalom.